In the next series of lessons, we're going to look at a process for creating content. So we're going to go through a number of stages with a few topics under each stage. We'll be looking at preparing to create content. We'll be looking at design of content, the production of content, how to then reflect on that, what we've created, and looking at some techniques for improving the content that we create. Under the first step of preparation, we'll be looking at identifying our purpose, who our target audience is, the constraints that may be placed on the content we're creating. So this may be organizational policies. We'll be looking at the desired outcomes, at researching and preparing, and of course the technology we'll be using when we're creating our content. In the design stage, we'll be looking at structure. We'll be looking at the layout of our documents. We'll be making sure that we look at the readability and how we can aid in making documents more readable through appearance. We'll look at efficiency of our designs. We'll look for consistency. This may be using things such as templates. And we'll look at how we can visualize data. And then there may be style guides or templates that are dictated by organizational policy. When we look at producing documents, we'll be looking at creating drafts, and quite often these drafts will just be in text. We'll be looking at the process of reviewing our drafts, getting our drafts proofread, or even participating in proofreading of other drafts. We'll go through the stage of editing, and then get to the stage where we're going to be producing a final draft. Up until we get to the final draft, most of what we do will just be text-based. We'll then look at creating or taking our final draft and presenting it to our target audience. We'll look at how we will name our documents, adding version control to it, and how we will store and archive it for retrieval later. We will look at reflecting on the content that we create by gathering feedback. So there will be a range of feedback tools we'll be looking at. We'll be looking at how we can get feedback from focus groups and some techniques for conducting surveys. We'll also be looking at how we can report on the feedback that we've collected. The last stage is looking at improving our own practices when we create documents. So we'll look at techniques such as split testing. We'll be looking at some ideas for experimentation. We'll look at ideas for professional development, and also how networking can improve the creation of documents. So we'll get started in our next lessons looking at each of these 5 phases.